Hi, I'm Andy Stegmeyer with Thunderlab Digital Media, a full-service production company based right here in Chicago, Illinois. Today on Shot in a Beer Gear Review, we have Derek Katzer with Undercover Audio. He's got some great stuff, so stick around.
Hi, I'm Derek Katzer. I'm with Undercover Audio, a post-production and production audio service here in Chicago, Illinois, and I'm here to review some beer and gear and whiskey for you. And the whiskey I have to share with you guys today is High West Campfire, which is a rye, bourbon, and scotch mix, and it's really fantastic. I got it for my birthday about a year ago, and it's been a big proponent of my life since then. And who doesn't like whiskey from Utah? I know I certainly do. Cheers to you. It's got a great kind of centered flavor and some notes of a little bit of oak. At least that's what I think so. I'm not a whiskey connoisseur, I just know what I like. And it's just really fantastic, so I highly recommend everybody tries it out. And the beer I'm going to go with today is made from Pipeworks Brewing here in Chicago, and it's called Lizard King, if you are a fan of, well, The Doors, which I'm not, but you might be, so that's pretty cool. Who knows? And it's really fantastic. So Mosaic hopped IPA, so it's about 6.5%, which is, pretty decent in terms of how beers go. And it's pretty good. They're my new kind of brewery of favor, at least for the past couple of months, because I like to try new beers. All right, so let's get into the gear. So this guy is a very small locket box. It's the Moze Gear Tig Q28, and it doesn't look that impressive. You look at it and say, well, it doesn't have, wireless capabilities on it. You can't actually run it through Bluetooth or anything like that, but this is really fantastic. It's super small. Camera departments tend to love it because, as you can see from its profile, it doesn't really take up too much space. The reason this is called the BNC edition is the original version came out with just a LEMO cable, which is, super fine and great, but the BNC cable or connector port is a lot more used, especially in production audio land. So the other interesting thing about this guy, it has the ability to actually jam to DSLRs. Now, the thing that it does that is, says here up front, it says out jam the BNC. That out cable is an 1/8" output port. And what it does, it'll jam directly into the actual DSLR. What it does is it'll send the audio signal, timecode, which is just a pulse, to left or right, depending on the camera setup. And then you have to use a program like DaVinci Resolve to pull out the timecode that then you could use to actually sync up the production audio with your actual video, which is super fantastic. I haven't actually used that feature yet myself because I use this primarily just to jam the camera. So, the great feature about this guy, it does do all standard, timecode rates, as you see here up front. And to the left here, this knob actually controls the signal level of the audio pulse coming out of the BNC connector. So depending on what it is, you might have to change it from, it's currently at the, I think, 11 o'clock position. You might have to change it from there to go to noon or to a different position depending on that camera you're on. But it's easy to tell because once you click in the right spot, it'll jam to the camera perfectly. I personally used it on Epics, Alexas, Amiras, on C300s, on Sony F55s, and they all work fantastic. It holds timecode for about 16 hours. It runs on 2 AAA batteries. When it's running, you can see the red light flashing up front. That just means it's generating code starting from 1 hour and continuing on. When you jam in, the jam in port is actually a 1/8" port as well, so you need to adapter to put that in, and it'll jam and hold the code pretty much all day. I've never had any issues with this guy. And for, $350, you can't really go wrong with this because it's smaller than the boxes that Denicky makes. And it made a big splash to the production community when it first came out because it's so very small. In terms of how we know it's jammed or not, the indicator kind of light flashes in different pulses, which is illustrated on the back of the device here. And on the back, if you're curious what's underneath this little Velcro strap, it just says Tig Moze Gear Q28, which I covered up because it needs to be locked to cameras most of the time. But again, for $350, you can't really go wrong with something this small and this awesome. It's a great addition to any production sound package. And I personally love it. I'm probably going to buy a couple other ones because these guys are killer. Once again, this has been Derek Katzer with Undercover Audio talking about High West Whiskey, the Campfire Edition, Lizard King by Pipeworks, and the Moze Gear Tig Q28 BNC Edition, because this stuff's awesome. So hope you enjoyed, and you have an awesome day.